Hello, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to us all to this grammar session. I hope and pray every one of us is in excellent shape of faith and health. Inshallah, today we are discussing Raf'ul Fi'l al-Mudari'. We've come a long way, and this will be the last case for the verb. We've already said that verbs have three cases. The verb can be majzoom, the verb can be mansoob, and the verb can be marfu'. That is, it has three grammatical cases, which is al-raf'u, al-jazmu, and then al-nasbu. It can have the nominative case, which is al-raf'u, and then it can have the accusative case, which is al-nasbu, and then it can have the jusive case, which is al-jazm. They have three cases. Verbs do not take kasra, so we don't have majroor or al-jar in verbs. All these terminologies, I had already mentioned that I will make a separate video explaining these beats, these terminologies and all that. I will try very well to explain it so that it becomes clearer, though we understand it as we move on. But those are key for everyone learning grammar. Those grammatical cases, understanding them is very key. Okay, now to our subject today, which is the last case we will learn about the verb, the present tense verb. Because we've already seen Nasbul Fi'l al-Mudari, and we've seen Jazmul Fi'l al-Mudari. Then what we are going to see today, Raf'ul Fi'l al-Mudari, is the last case. Okay. So we have here, it says Raf'ul Fi'l Mudari. Basically, Raf'ul Fi'l Mudari means when the present tense verb becomes marfu. When it becomes marfu. That is when the present tense verb ends in dhamma. Basically, when it ends in dhamma. Example, it says Tatiru al-hamamatu. Now, al-hamama is pigeon or dove, let's say, the bird. So tatiru, the dove is flying or the pigeon is flying. Okay. Ya'udu al-musafiru. Tatiru is from tara, to fly. And then ya'udu is from ada, to return. Ya'udu al-musafiru, the traveler is returning. Okay. Tasiru as-suhub. As-suhub is the plural of as-sahaba, the cloud. So as-suhub is clouds. Tasiru as-suhub, the clouds are moving. Tasiru is from the verb sara, to move. That is where we get as-sayyara, as-sayr, movement, as-sayr, movement, as-sayyara, the car. Okay. Example number 4, it says Yanzilu al-matar, the rain is falling. Al-matar is the rain, Yanzilu is descending, that is falling. Yathuru al-gubaru. Yathuru al-gubaru means, we've seen it before, but we saw it in the nominal sentence structure. We saw al-gubaru tha'irun. We saw that sentence, al-gubaru tha'irun. The dust is rising. Now, yathuru, the tha'ir has been made to the verb format, and it's now yathuru, from thara, to get aroused. Okay, it says yathuru al-gubaru, the dust is rising or has been aroused. The dust, al-gubar is dust or sand. Yahkumu al-qadi. Yahkumu, to pronounce judgment or to judge a matter. Al-Qadi, the judge. So the judge is overseeing the case or is judging the case. Okay, now let's see why all these examples. Okay. Let's move here so that we see our text clearly. Okay, so now we have the explanation. Al-Bath He says, الأفعال في الأمثلة المتقدمة, the verbs in the previous examples, كلها أفعال, they are all verbs, مضارعة, present tense verbs. كلها أفعال مضارعة, they are all present tense verbs. الأفعال في الأمثلة المتقدمة كلها أفعال مضارعة, all the verbs in the previous examples are all present tense verbs. So تسير, يثور, and all these, تطير, they are all present tense verbs. And he says, وإذا تأملنا أواخرها, and if we should look at its endings or ponder over its endings, we should look at how it ends. وجدناها مرفوعة, we find that the endings are marfu', where I said the basic sign of marfu' is dhamma. So we find that all the verbs, tatiru, tasiru, they all end in dhamma. Yathuru, all of them end in dhamma. فما سبب الرفع فما سبب الرفع, then what is the factor that is making the verbs end in dhamma? Because anytime you see something in grammar, there is a reason. We don't just put the vowels there anyhow. And so those who have mastered grammar can read without the vowels because they know the factors that cause those vowels. Like, you know, fi, when fi comes, just when fi comes, al-amthila should end in kesra. So you don't need the kesra if you know if fi is there. You are able to read automatically. So that is how it works. Okay. So it says if you look at the endings of these verbs, they end in dhamma. What is the reason? Okay. It says as-sababu, and the reason أن هذه الأفعال is that these verbs لم يتقدمها شيء, nothing has preceded them من الأدوات التي توجب نصبها. Adawat is the plural of adat, and adat is the tool. Adat is a tool or something, a factor. So he says لم يتقدمها شيء من الأدوات التي توجب نصبها. None of the factors that causes a present tense verb to be mansub precedes it. So all the verbs we have in our examples are not preceded by any adawat nasbin. And what we call adawat nasb are the an, lan, and the we saw one other, an, lan, and then we saw also, it has escaped me a bit, but when you look basically in basic books, they don't arrange it as it came here. What they do is that, okay, we saw likay. What basic books do is that they will tell you they are adawatu nasba an, lan, kay, hatta, lam ta'lil. But this book decided to bring an, lan, and likay first. Later in the book, they will come and show us the rest. Okay, so these are what are called adawatu nasb. And adawatu nasb are those articles when they precede a present tense verb, they make the verb end in fatha or they make it end in the accusative case. I pray you are with me. So these adawat, none of them come here in these sentences. When you look at these sentences, you can just refer back and look at it. The verbs are not preceded by any of these an, lan, kay, hatta, lam, ta'lil. Nothing is there. Tujibu means it makes it necessary. And tujibu nasbaha, it makes it taking fatha compulsory. None of this is there. Okay. And it says, aw tujibu jazmaha, or it makes it necessary for it to be majzoom. We've already read about the majzoom, just the previous lesson. And then we've seen that the times that a verb is made jazm, it has to be preceded by certain articles like la and nahiya, the la of prohibition, and lam, which is used for nafi fil madi. We've seen that, and we've seen in shartiyya wa jazma, or in shartin, harf shartin wa jazm. None of these also come in here. So we don't have adawat nasb here, we don't have adawat jazm here. وَلِذَلِكَ ارْتَفَعَتْ, and due to that it became marfu. ارتفعت, it became marfu. فَخُلُوهَا, it being devoid min adawat nasb, from adawat nasb as have been mentioned as come here. فَخُلُوهَا min adawat nasb, it being devoid of the adawat nasb, wa adawat al-jazm, and also the adawat al-jazm, the tools of jazm, huwa sabab al-raf', that is the reason why it comes with dhamma. So if you are asked, why is this verb, why is it tatiru al-hamamatu, why is it tatiru and not tatira? So you say, oh, it can only be tatira when there are adawat al-nazb, when there is an or lan, or, but in this case none of them is there, and also there are no adawat al-jazm, so the only option we are left with is giving the verb dhamma. Okay, and the qaida, it says here yurfa'u, that is yurfa'u al-fi'l al-mudari, the present tense verb is made marfu إذا لم تسبقه, if it is not preceded by adatun, an article or a tool, min adawat nazb, among the tools of the accusative case, aw al-jazm, or the genitive or the jussive case. So a present tense, this is the basic qaida you need to keep in your head. يرفع الفعل المضارع إذا لم تسبقه أداة من أدوات النصب أو الجزم. You need to put this in your head. So when you see a verb you are reading, as you are reading, you meet a verb and nothing precedes it that should call for it to be read with sukun at the end or fatha at the end, you read it with dhamma at the end. That is basically what the topic is about. Okay, so that is just what we are required here. So here, raf'ul fi'l mudari is basically when there is no adawat al-nazb and when there is no adawat al-jazm. That is what this seeks to tell us. I pray it's clear. Anything that is unclear, do not hesitate. As I've always been saying, do well to ask. And if you find benefit in it, do well to share. Perhaps somebody also has need for such lessons, so that they also benefit. Okay, may we have a very good understanding of this language. May we all rattle it someday together. Okay, until we meet again next time, have a good Arabic time. Enjoy your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye bye.